Super Smash Bros. Ultimate released on the Nintendo Switch in 2018, and it is quite honestly the ultimate version of Smash Bros. I don't think anybody really argues that. And of course, we saw a long trail of DLC support with the multiple fighter packs that we saw released, with all of the hype trailers at each Nintendo Direct, and even some character reveals at the Game Awards over the years. And one big question many fans have been asking, including myself, is where does Nintendo go with the Smash Bros. Franchise from here? And it's gotten some very exciting news, in addition to some signs that are pointing to maybe the next iteration being in active development right now. And in today's video, I want to unpack all those details and talk about what we might see from the future of Smash Bros. From both a movie production standpoint and a new game iteration. And we need to get on the same page with all of the new details right after you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And with that, we have to start off by unpacking a few different pieces of news, some of which is more recent than others. And we're going to start with the movie portion before going into the good news that suggests that we could likely be in the development cycle of a Smash Bros. Game currently. But you can first see this article posted up over on My Nintendo News, which reads, rumor, Illumination preparing pitch to make Super Smash Bros. Avengers movie from multiple spin-offs. A new rumor has come in hot off the press that animation studio Illumination has submitted a pitch to Nintendo for a shared cinematic universe similar to the Marvel movies that will culminate in a Super Smash Bros. Movie as the company's Avengers-style film. The rumor comes direct from Daniel RPK. It should be noted that the upcoming Legend of Zelda live-action movie is being produced by another studio. And you can see the exact quote, which reads, Illumination has prepared a pitch to present to Nintendo for a shared cinematic universe with multiple spin-offs that will culminate in a Super Smash Bros. Movie as their quote-unquote Avengers. So obviously, if you're a fan of any Nintendo franchise at all, the prospect of Nintendo releasing their own Nintendo Cinematic Universe, similar in style to what we see Marvel do with all of their films, and then it all culminates in a massive Super Smash Bros. Movie together at the end, that is a big, exciting prospect. Now, it doesn't mean it's around the corner. It doesn't mean we're going to get a reveal from it anytime soon. I think this would be a larger payoff over the course of the next 10 plus years, where we're getting an occasional Mario movie, we're getting an occasional Donkey Kong movie, we know to expect a live action Legend of Zelda movie, so it'll be interesting to see how they navigate that, since they're leading off Legend of Zelda with live action and not animated, which is what Illumination would be responsible for. And there's no telling that this will ultimately come to fruition at this point in time, because of course this is a pitch for this idea. This is not saying that Nintendo has greenlit the idea, but I do think it makes logical sense. And Nintendo, while new to the movie market overall, is doing a fantastic job as a newcomer with the mass market success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And I do think the ultimate payoff would be to have a Super Smash Bros. Marvel Cinematic Universe style big film, maybe series of films, like 3 different parts. It would be awesome to see, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys hope we see from the future of Nintendo movies, and whether or not you think a Super Smash Bros. Style movie makes all the sense in the world. Now, in terms of the game development side of things, and why a lot of fans are now looking around online realizing Sakurai may be at work on the next Smash Bros. Game right now, and it may be in partnership with Bandai Namco once again, because there's 2 different pieces of information that broke recently that heavily suggest that that is the case. As you can first see this post over on My Nintendo News, which reads, Masahiro Sakurai says he's still creating games for the time being. Smash Bros. Creator Masahiro Sakurai isn't going anywhere anytime soon, as he has informed fans in his latest YouTube video on creating video games that he is still creating games for the time being. While this isn't a guarantee for the next Smash Bros. Game, it should ease some people's minds. Sakurai has been busy with his personal and informative YouTube channel titled Masahiro Sakurai on Creating Games. Now, if that were the only piece of news, it wouldn't be quite as exciting, because Sakurai is probably not ready for retirement yet, although that was on the table. And you guys might remember in recent interviews, whenever he talked about wrapping up the end of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's development, that he wasn't really sure what his next step was. He did insinuate that he couldn't see the franchise continuing without him, but we didn't really know that he would for sure be back for yet another project. And while that's not yet confirmed, there is more evidence that points towards it, as you can then see this next article, which reads, job listing reveals Bandai Namco working on both 2D and 3D action games for Nintendo. Bandai Namco seemingly has 2 projects in production for Nintendo, with one being developed at Studio 2 and the second being developed at Studio S. The job listing seems to suggest that the 3D game is likely to be a remaster or remake of an existing Nintendo IP, though obviously it doesn't state which one. Interestingly, the 2D game job description mentions the construction of stage specifications, level designs, etc. for side view action games, leading Twisted Voxel to believe that it could be the next game in the Smash Bros. Series. As always, we'll have to wait and see what these projects turn out to be. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly say, I hope that the 3D action game is indeed a remake or remaster of Kid Icarus Uprising. Sakurai even hinted to this himself on one of his YouTube videos, and you couldn't quite tell if he was like poking Nintendo that hopefully somebody remakes this game, or if he was legitimately hinting that he's involved with it right now, which he very well could be if it is in active development. But with that description of the 2D action game having customizable stages, where have you heard that before in the Smash Bros. Franchise? And it's a 2D side view action game. I mean, that definitely leads you to believe that it could indeed be the next Smash Bros. Maybe they're working on something entirely new and it's a brand new IP and it's not Smash Bros. But considering how long it's now been since Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has been wrapped up and completed, and we know that Nintendo is likely transitioning to next generation hardware as soon as 2024, they would definitely want to have the wheels in motion with the next major release of the Smash Bros. Franchise. And we saw Smash Bros. Ultimate release just 1 year after the Nintendo Switch hit the market. So could we expect some kind of similar timeline to be in place for the next game? And where do they really go with the Smash Bros. Franchise? Because while I have my own opinions on it, I also want to hear from you guys. Do they go in the direction of a reboot on the series? Because I could definitely see them keeping it a little bit more of a simple roster this time around, just having some core characters and really reinventing some of the core gameplay mechanics and customization options and things. Or does Sakurai just continue to outdo himself and try to make an ultimate version of Smash Bros. Where the roster gets even bigger? Now, he's been pretty clear on record saying that he doesn't think that they'll ever pull off what they did with the Smash Bros. Ultimate roster again, so I don't know that that route makes as much sense. I personally think it will be somewhere in the middle of something that refines the gameplay mechanics and really looks excellent, top-notch visual quality on next generation hardware, but then it also has more of a core roster with different fighters plus some of our classics that we know to expect, but maybe doesn't have all of the broad collaborations with numerous different gaming franchises that spans industry wide. But we will have to wait and see what comes of all of this. But that's where I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What do you personally hope we see for the future of the Super Smash Bros. Franchise? Do you hope we see some kind of Marvel style movie one day that culminates in an Avengers style thing where all the Nintendo movies culminate to that final payoff? And what do you hope we see from the future of Super Smash Bros. Games? Do you want it to be something like a reboot, a more return to form Smash Bros. Style game with a limited roster and limited focus? Or do you want to see Nintendo continue to outdo the ultimate iteration of Smash Bros. On Nintendo Switch? Or do you think maybe they're just going to remaster Ultimate, port it over, make it Ultimate Deluxe, and then give us a few more characters plus some new stages, and that's maybe what this project is? But regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch the video on screen next if you haven't already. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.